Hey, hey, hey. Hope everybody's doing good. Carl Bryan coming at you. I hope you're all doing fantastically. I'm here with my boy Kenya Pat. Kenya Pat, what's happening, my man? Keeping busy? Doing good?
Life is full and life is good. So yeah, looking at the I know people can see my screen, they see this group coaching tab on the side. So I'm getting to look at that
Awesome.
today and working through it and finding things I don't like and things that like, oh, what's that about? So we're trying to iron those out and get some beta testers in and start working with it and polishing it before we put it out, because if we put it out too soon, it's too many complaints and
Yep.
bugs and all that. So we got to just get it ironed out. But
Everything.
we're at 95% of the way there, maybe more. Just a few things now.
It's that 80-20. It's that last 20 has been a gong show, but it's the way she goes in life, right? The way she goes. A little bit late, but it'll be in your hot little hands, folks, soon, or available to your hot little hands, that is. One other thing I wanted to, guys, if you look above group coaching, though, lists, something else I want to mention, guys, if you could just hit that for us, please, Pat.
Yep.
Guys, you may or may not be aware that that's there. Hopefully you are. But again, you've got the capacity to go and buy lists right there. These are live lists. These aren't like buying a 3-year-old list of chiropractors. Ridiculously inexpensive, as you can see some of the amounts there. You just follow the steps. You see the way Pat's doing. Super simple. What's your city, what's your state, what's your country. You put it in there. Boom, your zip codes, postal codes, like whichever you do, either or, by the way. But you'll see that you got your first, second, and third choices. You want to go after chiropractors, and you want to go after physiotherapists, whatever. Like it's all there, ready to rock. So you put your 3 choices, boom, and basically, depending upon how far you guys get the idea, you should be. I think you should be experimenting with that if you want to make your life easy. And potentially, of course, for your clients, if your clients, a perfect joint venture partner for them is, gyms, well, we'll go there and get them a list of gyms. You can charge them for it. You can throw it in with your coaching. You can do whatever you want, but you're going to make it a whole lot easier for your clients to be able to generate leads. So that's a button. We spent a lot of time getting that all built up and whatnot, which not that that's a big deal, but that is an asset that I think can be very valuable for you guys. So you should be using it. And we expect that when we drop group coaching and you get access to that, it's going to be, probably pretty good idea to get your hands on that. That's what I think. So there you go, folks. A couple of things there. Pat, are we going to show them anything with the group coaching, or are we going to hold that back?
Well, for those people who honored us with their time, I could just have a look here. Let me see. I'm a little nervous, but I'll show you guys kind of where it's heading. So this will be a coach interface, and it's not going to be something, I don't think, that's going to be automatically added to everyone. It's very likely going to come at a small cost, but and the ROI on it, you put some people in the group, you're just be rocking. But have the ability to look at different groups, and we got 5 here, but there'll actually be another one because we have this LPW group. This will be for you. It's a 50-week series, but if you don't have time to do group coaching yourself, or you've only got 1 or 2 people in your group, you might not want to put them in your own group because it doesn't look good to have 1 or 2 people in the group. So you put them in our group, you keep all the money, we do the coaching for you. But then I'll just show you like foundational strategies. We could view this. A lot of changes to come here. You're seeing something still a little bit rough here. But we got this opening explanation video and benefits down the side, and you can set your meeting dates and times and your price and your meeting URL. And then down here, you'll see your lessons. I think they've loaded in the 14 lessons here. So as you go into the lesson, you can see on this one, we added a group member. I think you add yourself. But just viewing a lesson, this is kind of the interface here. So just beautifully done, brand new finished videos. See who's in there. You see the engagement level of your members. just some great things. This is one we put in today, is put my son Sam in there. What percent of the video they're watched? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? I mean, just so cool here. So ability to, you got the video you're watching. Let me go back there again, sorry. So you got your resources, your PowerPoint, your game plan, your whole script. Your members have their resources. You can send a reminder to yourself. You can send reminders to your clients with all the meeting links involved. You can take notes about what to do for the meeting. You can take notes about what to do after the meeting. I mean, it's just it's something we're building out, and this is mostly there. I think it's probably 95% of the way there. Yeah, what do you think, Carl? Do you like it?
I don't like it. I love it. You know that. And yeah, guys, it's just, and maybe if the inspiration behind it might make a little bit of sense, because obviously we have, lots of, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of coaches, a lot really taking it to the next step, and, multiple 6 figures, some are hitting 7 figures. One of the challenges that you have as you grow your coaching, if you've ever seen me explain the wheel, one of the challenges with coaching is that you picture, the clock, picture 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock, okay? With the average business, what happens is as things start, like if you buy a car, it loses significant value as soon as you don't even need to get in it. You just literally sign the papers. It's now a used car, diminishes in value. When you buy toothpaste and you take off the lid, it's literally worthless after you've taken off the lid. If you've ever bought a bottle of water and it was already open, you take it back to the front and say, hey, what's going on? This bottle of water was already open. Not having this, I'm grabbing a new one. They're like, oh yeah, for sure. Sorry about that, right? Well, that's the way most things in the business world work. Whereas when you've got a business like what we have built here with our coaching community, the bigger that it gets, the more speed that it gets, because we've got higher level coaches that are solving problems on behalf of our own clients, right? So the community, just think of this call here, right? When we've got lots of people back and forth, and Pat's here answering questions, I'm here answering questions, you guys are, asking questions, and I'm like, wow, that makes me think of another question, Pat, how would you answer this? We're going back and forth, whereas if it was just Pat and I here, there wouldn't be the value. It'd be like a walkie-talkie. We're back and forth. So what I'm describing is network effects. I'm not sure I'm doing a great job of it, but network effects, if you were to ask me to explain it, and I explained this recently on this call, but I'll do it again. The best example of network effects is your phone. Okay. So if Pat owned a phone and nobody else owned a phone, it would be kind of useless. If Pat had a phone, I had a phone, we got a walkie-talkie. It's good for him. It's good for me. Useless for everybody else, right? But it's kind of cool. It's a walkie-talkie. It's okay. But if everybody on the planet has a phone, the more people that get phones, the more functional Pat's phone becomes, right? So that's network effects. That's why, you're probably listening to this on your phone right now. And if you're not, it's either in your pocket or you can see it, right? So again, network effects. Facebook would be a good example. When there was like a small number of people in Facebook, it was kind of lame. And then when every one of your friends was on Facebook and then more joined, it became more and more and more functional. That's network effects, the opposite of the toothpaste, the opposite of the car, right? And again, we've got that at LPW, where the bigger that it gets, the more attractive that it gets, the better the software gets. The more people we have using the software, the more feedback, the more improvements, calls like this. That's how we get to the point where we're staring at what we're staring at with group coaching. So in sum, why did I rattle off into that little rant? With our successful coaches doing 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and 7 figures, they've got a little bit of a bottleneck, right? Where there's only so much time in the day, so there's only so much coaching you can do, right? And then what happens if you can picture a clock, when the coach gets too busy and can't get back to you and can't reply to your emails in a reasonable time frame, late for the calls, misses a call, whatever it is, because he's traveling, like he's just too busy, the coaching goes like down in value as opposed to the opposite. With group coaching, what you guys are experiencing with us, it's the opposite. The more people you have in your group coaching program, quite frankly, the better. The better the banter, the better your learnings, because your own clients are asking you questions that allow you to, both learn, come up with solutions for others, And there's no glass ceiling. So basically, by doing group coaching, you could have 2 people, you could have 20 people, you could have 200 people, and you could have, 1,000 people, I guess, on the line at any one time. And 1,000 people would be better than 20 because of the banter, the questions, the Q&A, the back and forth, etc. So that's why group coaching, we have our coaches that are, really crushing it. And their biggest problem is not lead generation. Their biggest problem is not getting clients. Their biggest problem is not getting a $60,000 client over a $24,000 client, where we have lots of those, and you might fall into that basket. But eventually you'll get to the point where you're like, my biggest problem, Carl, is that I'm maxed out. So we got 2 things. One, we've got a program you probably heard of where you build a team of 10 coaches, which is a really good idea. If you're doing well with your coaching, that's a program that's probably going to make sense for you sometime in the future. And then this program here, where there's going to be no amount of lead generation that's going to get you to a bottleneck, because you can just continually put people into your group coaching programs. And the more you put in, the better it's going to get, the more you're going to learn, the more feedback that they're going to get, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of the inspiration behind the group coaching software. And again, you guys, if you've been on this call for any length of time, you'll know that this has been a monster project, the tune of 7 months. And to say that we have, high hopes for it would be understatement of the year. I think that this for a lot of you, you may or may not, there's a good chance you're looking at this going, oh my gosh, this is what I've been thinking about. I had a call with one of our 7-figure coaches this morning. I've been a client for a very, very long time, to the tune of a decade. And just sees this as an absolute respect. One of our clients, I just spoke to him a couple of days ago, hooked him up with a buddy of mine, but he's doing 20 million. And by the way, this is not necessarily, this is going to be a magical solution. For I call it Mr. X. If you guys were at our live event in Las Vegas, I'm talking about Mr. X, which some of you guys know. But anyway, so there you go. This group coaching software, though, when you start doing those types of numbers and whatnot, you got to find a way to be able to remove that chokehold, remove the bottleneck, which is you, and group coaching is a solution. So that's why you're looking at this, and it's pretty cool now. And I promise you, it is only going to get significantly more cool once we roll it out and we get some feedback and you start using it, etc. So there you go, Pat. That's what I want to say about the group. Would you expand upon anything I said there, Pat? What do you think? You agree? Comment?
Oh, I totally agree. I'm just really excited about this. We got some things in here that we got created some new lessons that we've never delivered before to our coaches. So like how to raise your prices and have your customers thank you for it. Just a very practical, like we say here, 9 steps to raise your prices, 5 reasons you should, 6 psychological tips to optimize pricing, solid roadmap to increase your prices. So, in the software itself, we go back here, we have, let's look at the Jumpstart here. We got increased prices. So we've got the questions around it, and in the implementation, we've got some implementation steps, but nothing like the real clarity that we're offering, say, in the lesson itself there. So some really cool things that we've tried to do, and a lot of it comes from the old group coaching, and it's just got a new facelift on it. But there's a lot of new things in there as well. So.
Yep, there we go. So again, and everybody listening, you probably saw that, but again, profit acceleration software, like it's perfect, the 2 complement one another at a very high level. So your profit acceleration software and then your group coaching, all going to complement one another. So there you go, folks. So that's what we got. Got a few questions here. Can you, Pat? And once again, guys, Q&A call. So you guys provide the Q, we provide the A. Tim Hensley's got a question. Tim, we're coming for you, bud. You're self-muted. You need to unmute yourself. There he is. Tim,
yeah, hey there. Okay, great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we're good. How you doing?
Okay, great. Thank you. In regards to the group coaching, when would you see, because you mentioned like 1,000 people, there's got to be some point of diminishing returns, because I can imagine that's if the group is too large, many people aren't going to necessarily participate. So have you
Yeah.
found any numbers as to when there's that diminishing returns? I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Yep.
Is it
No,
5,
no, I got
10,
you.
20?
Yeah, it's definitely not 5, 10, 20. Look, it's kind of what I said a minute ago. It's like these calls. You know what I mean? You imagine between the Ask the Expert and the Profit Acceleration calls that Pat and I do. I also do a Monday motivational call, which is just like the recording of my podcast, right? It's like a lot of the time
Yes.
people, like, you know, a lot of people don't put up their hand. There's people right now on this call searching something, and for whatever reason, they don't want to put up their hand. I'll get some feedback here, Tim. I don't know if that's what you're in. There we go. Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pat, you put them on. That's okay, bud. Oh, then so anyways, you know, like getting participation. If your problem is that you're getting too much participation from your audience, you're really onto something good. That being said, I mean, again, let's live in the real world. I mean, if you've got 100 people putting up their hand and you're only able to get the 12th question, your challenge is that, you know, it's going to be obviously more people missing out on getting their question answered than the other. This is where you're going to want to have a team of coaches behind you. But really what happens, Tim, is those questions, okay, like an example of a question that you'll get. Tim, I love the idea of creating a market dominating position for myself. I'm a chiropractor. What would you do if you were me? Right? Well, the answer to that question is going to be a higher level coaching program with ridiculous predictability. Another example I would give you there is that if you guys knew how much money that I have made, or a better way of wording that, how many high-end coaching programs I have sold, the people that were canceling my $97 program, right? Like if we rewind, we go back to like 2008, I was doing traditional internet marketing. I was driving traffic and then converting people into a 97. I had a free plus shipping with forced continuity offer. That's a flashy way of saying that I would send you my book for free. It was actually a DVD. I'd send you the DVD for free. I would charge you shipping, which I can't remember, but it was, call it $10. I got your credit card number. I would automatically say, so what's going to happen is the DVD is awesome, but what you really need is my accountability, my kick in the pants, and my weekly lesson, because it's going to help you build what it is that you just bought, which is a membership site or what have you, you know, a kick butt coaching program. So I would force continuity is that they automatically went into my $97 a month program and they could cancel at any stage, right? So you get it free plus shipping with forced continuity. Well, the people that canceled, I would, you know, again, we would arrange for, you know, a phone call with them, and why would they cancel an amazing program? They're overwhelmed, they're falling behind. All of those reasons basically led to, well, you need a higher level of accountability, you need a higher level of support, you need a higher level coaching program. This do-it-yourself one is not doing it for you. You need some more TLC, right? So in sum, what did I just say? When you've got a lot of people in your coaching program, they're asking questions that you're not able to get to. They're opening the door for a one-to-one call where you're going to be able to sell them into higher level coaching, right? Which is a program with more access to yourself. So if I were to answer your question arbitrarily, I'm going to say about 100 people would be like, you know, on our Ask the Expert call. I think Adrian gets a fair bit more than that, but like, you know, 100 people show up. There's a good amount of banter back and forth. There's always enough people that you can open up a line and they're going to hear from somebody new. Like you hear me do that, Tim, all the time on these calls. I don't open the same guy every week, you know, like I'm opening somebody new whose name I haven't seen before all the time, right? So that's the answer to that, is I'm arbitrarily throwing the number of 100 out there, but I don't know that the biggest problem you have is that you're getting too much banter back and forth. You're going to have a really, really good problem on your hands because you're going to be upselling like crazy. And the fact that you're not able to get to the answer on the live call can work in your favor, because now you've got an excuse to put them on the phone. And on that phone call, the solution is probably going to be a higher level program, if that makes sense. So I don't know that there's a number law of diminishing returns, but I'm going to arbitrarily say like 100 people on a group call is a good number to get lots of banter back and forth. But Tim, let me open you
Carl.
back up. What do you think? Did that? Oh, Pat, please go, bud.
I was gonna say, let me just add to that. I mean, that's one way to run it. And I think the way we built this as well is for coaches who want to have a smaller group as well. And if you look at the agenda and the coach meeting game plan, what we've done is it's really for people like myself who really want something more scripted. So you have two different styles. One would be Carl, who just freewheels it. One myself, I want it more scripted. So I look at this, okay, introduction and agenda, 5 minutes maybe. We're going to open up, we're going to talk about what's going on. We discuss wins with members. So I might have 12 people in my group, which I might think for me is optimum. I want to go around and talk to each person. Hey, Joe, what happened? What's a win this week? We're going to look at review main lesson points if you'd like to do that. Solve challenges and answer questions. So you can go around again and say, what's your main sticking point this week? How can we help you through it? Asking for insights of the top things they learned, reviewing next lessons, and then invite people to do a Jumpstart 40 or a Jumpstart 12 or whatever. So for this whole file, what we've done, we've built PowerPoints for you, and we've got the clicks in here that you can advance the PowerPoint. So you go click, and then up on the screen, what's your biggest win and what advice would you give to other group members? As you go through the PowerPoints, you've got a script to read basically, and the PowerPoints are beautifully designed. So if you want to run this style of meeting, you've got it for you. If you want to freewheel it with 100 people and do it that way, you can do it that way as well. And if you're only able to put 1 or 2 people in the group, put them in our group, and we'll cover these same lessons, but in a bigger group style. We obviously can't do it this style, but we'll do it in the style that Carl just suggested there.
Yeah. So there we go. So the good news for those of you that feel like you need something to be followed, what Pat just showed you is like, not only is there something to follow, but it's literally step by step by step, what you're going to do on that specific call. So there you go. Good. Very good point. Very good point. Let's open up Tim. Tim, I want to come back and just make sure, see if you have how do we do with answering your question here, buddy? There you go. Tim, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, that's awesome. I really love it. I love what you're putting together. I haven't done groups, and I really see the value in that. And I just got to get it marketed. And then the scripts, I love it. I just think that's fantastic. So thank you guys for masterminding this and kind of thinking at least where I need to be, and kind of the tools to help jumpstart me. So thank you. I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
Beautiful. All right, Tim, thanks so much, and great question, buddy. Love it. All right, let's put Tim back on mute. Tony Plies coming for you, buddy. You were self-muted. There he is. Tony, what's happening?
Carl, how you doing? All right, man. Everything. Well, I'm glad to see this. And as usual, well done, forethought, all that. And as usual, it always comes back to no matter how good you do, what have you done for me lately? And I'm going to ask you from the accountability standpoint. I love that we can see if they've watched the videos. Is this backwards compatible to the ELMS? Meaning, I'd like to see.
No. Yeah, good point.
Videos.
Yeah. I hear you. We have gone back and forth on this about 1,000 times. The ELMS is a bit of a funny. I really want you to see your ELMS as a standalone product. Remember how I'm using the ELMS is that I'm going to the accountant. I put a price point to say $500 a month, $6,000 a year, and I'm going to the accountant like Santa Claus and basically donating 10 memberships. $60,000 of value, right? You're my coaching client, and we're going to talk about time management. I go to the time management video, I send it over and say, Tony, watch this before we get together. Same thing on, goal setting and market dominating position and staff recruitment, right. Staff training, staff development, leadership. So anyway, we've gone back, and literally Adrian and I had a conversation about this today on exactly where that, but for the time being, and the foreseeable future, and again, the ELMS is going to be a standalone product that has value in just so many different ways. Remember, I meet a business owner because the group coaching, you're back and forth. Yeah, it's a different animal. There's a debate to say that there's crossover between in fact, there's not a debate. I mean, there is crossover between the two, because you meet somebody and you want to guide them. Which one do you put them in? Do you put them in the elms? But think of the framing up of, 10 units and then giving it to the accountants at $60,000 of value. There's a lot of value in sending them to, TonyPlyesUniversity.com kind of thing. So that's the answer.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, and it's always like, well, we're gonna always ask for more if we can get it. And I see why you have it that way. And I'm looking at using the elms as a part of the training. So, and I can't wait to get to group coaching, because I have a use for that right now. But I'm going to be using those both intermittently at the same time. But using the elms more as an incubator for other projects I've got going on. So, I mean, it's all great the way it is, but
Love it. So there you go. All right, Tony. So does that help, bud?
Yeah, I mean, we can work with it. I mean, we've already got the best tools in the market. I mean, the best tools that are available. So it's not a complaint in any way, because we can use what we have, and it's just always got to ask.
There you go.
And Pat, would you expand? What would you say? Is there anything that you'd add there?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to put them together at this point unless we bring more of the systematic lessons into the resource section here and into the software. But I just want to comment briefly on this page we're looking at here and the different philosophies of running a group. Like Carl might want to put 100 people in his group. I might want to put 12 people in my group. So let's say I create this, I have this foundational strategies group. We're going to take this LPW off of here, just for a little aside, because you don't want it named LPW for your group.
Right.
But what we're going to do, and change this description up a little bit here so it's easier to recognize, but imagine I have a foundational strategies group which starts, let's say, July 1st. And that's how I'll describe my group. But let's say I have, and I've put 12 people in it. Maybe I want to start another group. I want to start another foundational strategies group, and I want to get another 10 or 12 people on there. What I've asked the guys to do today, and they haven't done it yet, but hopefully this week, is we'll click a new group, create a new group. I can just add another foundational strategies group. I can even put a different pricing on it. Put $10 here. That's just placeholder. But put a different pricing on it. Put a different start date on it, and put 10 or 12 different members in that group, or 50 if I want, whatever. So I can have as many of these groups as I want coming down here. At some point as well, we're going to have this. I'm not sure where it's going to be. If it's one of these, we're going to have like a home page where we can see all your groups, how much money you're making from each group, how many members in them, what your monthly revenue is, all those kind of things. So you'll be able to see at a glance what your business is making. And I mean, this is probably phase 2, right? Phase 1, phase 2, that'll be phase 2.
Very cool.
We want to get phase 1 launched, but we got so many places we want this to go. We've got, even in here, we see, where is it? No, let me go back one. I'll show you this quick and then we'll move on, I think. But let's see here. It's this one. Maybe it's in here. You see all the people in your group. You can view details. So here we've got who the person is, what percent of the video they watched. Did they download the pre-meeting questionnaire? Did they attend the meeting? And if so, how much of it they think they attended? Did they get the meeting worksheet, what their score on the quiz was? Did they do the post-meeting action step or download them? What profit impact they think they're going to get from that lesson? That's their opinion. And their overall level of engagement.
Wow.
So, yeah, so we're going to be able to go in and we'll see our list of clients in this, our businesses in this group alone. And we say, this guy thinks he's going to get 5%. This guy thinks he's going to get 25%. they're 90% engaged. Let's talk to that person.
Yeah.
Or the person who's 60%. We'll go, hey buddy, I see you didn't attend the meeting, like what's going on? And our insight into that client just through this group will be so great. It'll give us so much more, I think, ability to speak into their business and connect with them. So
yeah, I mean,
that's what
I see uses for this right now, so that's awesome. And that's just some of the exact training tools that we'd be looking for so that we could gauge their engagement. Because I think that's critical in them understanding. And then as you, Carl, were talking about earlier, that if they're not engaged, then we can get more involved with them as a coach and either get them into a higher program or, find out which direction they're going to go.
Yeah, and so where we're going with this, probably in the next couple of months, this will be either the phase 2 or the phase 3, is we're going to come back and say, create a new group, and you'll be able to create your own custom group with your own custom lessons. So if you're like really good on leadership, you can upload your own stuff here, and you can run a group on leadership. Someone's great on finances, they can run a finance group, whatever. So that'll be stage 3, I think. But that's going to give us so much more ability to just go beyond where this is as the base here. So
when you're talking about your own group and what you're good at, like if you suggested if you're good at leads, so does that mean that you can select certain videos to have uploaded to that? Or is that just what you're assigning?
Right now, the More Leads group has 14 lessons in it already done for you. It's a 14-week group. They're all right there.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah, so I think in the future, you'll be able to probably customize it a little bit more if you want to do that.
Okay, but you were talking about there's a foundational module there?
Yeah, we've got the foundational. These are like market dominating position, elevator pitch. Yeah, there's 14 of these.
Wow.
And then we have more conversions. There's going to be 12 of these. And compelling offers, reactivate stale clients, eliminating risk.
So then would you potentially take a client from one group and then when we finish that, put him in another group?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And then, so this is the LPW group. This will be the group that Carl, Adrian, and I run. But then we're adding another one here shortly. It'll just be the 50-week profit acceleration group. And that's your 50-week group. So this will be our group. You can just throw your clients in there, but you can have your own group. And so I was looking at today, and what I asked the guys to do is, just these little things that I think will be important. And if I don't ask for it now, they're not going to do it. But so what's going to happen is, I'm sorry, if I don't ask for it now, you're going to ask for it anyway, and we're going to have to do it anyway. So I just said, look. So let's say, for example, this group starts May 1st, and now we're in end of June, and in May 1st, you only see the first lesson. You're not giving everyone all these lessons. They're hidden, or they're partially hidden. They can see the titles, but they're not going to be able to access. So now what happens is you're in this 50-week group, and someone comes in and says, hey, I want to join your group. And you go, well, it's July 1st, and that's fine. You can get them in your group because it just keeps going, right? So what's going to happen is they come in maybe 5 key marketing components. That's the only one that opens for them. All the ones before it are going to be hidden because they haven't paid for those yet.
Okay.
And all the ones after it will be hidden because they haven't paid for those yet. So we're going to start them in here, and then they'll just progress through this, and it'll open up 3 days before the meeting. This will open up, and they'll be able to access it. And so then once you've done through week 50, you'll come back and they'll start again just week 1 and just do the whole thing again.
Rotate.
Now, is it up to us if we charge them for that? Because I'm looking at a little different project here as well.
Well, you can put any price you want on the group. You can make it free. You can charge $1,000, whatever. I think you'll be able to make it by the month. So what's happening is these are getting done. I'm supposed to check this on Thursday. It's been done, but one of these, Stripe has been done. PayPal has not yet been configured. So we're going to go into Stripe. I have to walk it through and just walk every step and see how does this work. I don't know why it's not working. I disabled it, but I have to walk it all through and make sure it works. Then you can set up monthly billing, annual billing, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever.
And you can do
sorry?
And you can do card on file.
I hope so. Not even sure.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen how it works yet. So.
Invoice. I mean, not that it would be, you know, impossible to do, but if it's automated where you can take a card on file when you put them into the group, then they're going to be automatically billed anyway.
Well, you might have to do it the first time, but the next time, yeah, it'll be just card on file. I hope so.
Cool. All right.
Let's see.
There we go.
Well,
Pat, can you, because I want to show folks, could you go to implementation for me on the normal? Go to just a Profit Jumpstart. If you want to come back to this, but just so that they can see kind of what bigger picture, like what Tony was just asking. So like we're here and then scroll down. Oh, actually, sorry, go priorities. I'm sorry. Go priorities, I meant to say. Just where we can jump around. Like, there you go. Like Tony, so when you're thinking about your different can you grab one of those and just move it up and move it down, like cut costs down or whatever? So like picture this, guys, as your 50 lessons, and then you want a different order, or you're going to want to put, like, as an example, it would make sense that you do a custom call for your first group coaching. Like it launches on May 1st and you show up to do the big announcement and get everybody excited and open up a few lines of some folks that have been with you for a while and that you know well and yada, yada, yada. So you're going to move that custom lesson to the top. This is not happening now. This is kind of more the picture. And then you want to adjust because Tony's an advertising guy. He wants to move, you know, advertising up, and then somebody else is an accountant. They want to move something about small business finance or accounting up as an example. Like that's kind of how we see the lessons moving around in the future. Just as a little FYI.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, just one more question, and then I don't want to hog the whole thing here for people. But I was wondering when. Geez, now I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Jeez, I got too many questions I want to ask here, Carl, and I'm losing track of them. But I'll get back to you guys on it. But I know what I was going to ask. When you were talking about putting them in the LPW group and you do the coaching for us, is that a live thing or is it automated?
Yeah, that's going to be. So we will be there. Okay, so actually, Pat, do you want to? You talk to that. Maybe take them back to group coaching here.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is, let's say we have this LPW group. We're going to put a start date on it, and that'll be the initial meeting. So let's say our meeting will be every Thursday at noon Pacific, for example. Now, this is how we're envisioning it works. So every Thursday at noon. So every Monday, this lesson's going to open up. They get access to all the resources in there. Thursday at noon, then it'll be Carl and myself, or Carl and Adrian, or me and Adrian, or something. We're going to run that group. But you're going to have your ability to charge for it. Okay. And you put your price that you want on it, and the money goes into your pocket. But people come into our meeting URL, and they're just in this meeting. But yeah, so if you don't have time to do it, or it's for coaches who are just getting started and like, I can't get more than 2 people or something right away. Well, it's like, put them in our group, you'll get paid for it, and we'll just do that group coaching for you. And then all this stuff gets delivered automatically through the week, through the series of emails, everything. It just goes out automatically.
Well, that's sweet, because when I'm telling people, that I'm going to have one of my professional coaches handle the meeting, then I'm never going to run out of coaches.
There you go. Perfect. It's a great idea.
And maybe Tony, for you and some of the other, like especially the heavy hitters, you're not going to want to lose your preeminence. So it's not like Pat's going to show up and say, "Hey, I'm Pat Bell," and I'm going to say, "Hey, I'm Carl Bryan." No, it's not like we're going to be introduced. It's not like we're going to hide from, but it's just like today. Do you know what I mean? It's like, "Hey guys, it's Carl here. probably intentionally, like the whole idea is to just, I would be there representing you and your coaching, company. It's like I kind of work for you in a roundabout way. That's not the way I would frame it, but you get the idea. So they're not, you don't have to worry about them coming and then all of a sudden say, hey, who's this Carl O'Brien guy, and coming to see if I can coach them, right? Which
Right.
You follow me. So that's the idea.
No,
and
I
it's
just think it's awesome that I can be able to say, hey, look, one of my professional coaches is going to handle this, and
yeah, there you go.
they know there's going to be somebody different.
Yeah, this is it, buddy.
It's not getting handed off to a newbie that doesn't know what's going on. So I mean, I love it.
Yep. There you go, bud. Okay, awesome. Okay, Tony, great banter, man.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
You bet.
All coming soon. Okay, cool. We had
Tom Cavanaugh had a
John. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I'll come to you in a sec, Tom. John Cunningham, you're self-muted, my friend. He's got a couple of. There you go. Hey, John, you're live.
Yeah, hi. Actually, Pat answered my question. So I was just asking about being able to have multiple groups in the same scenario.
Okay. Yep.
That's great. I appreciate that. I did notice that in the controls, or the reporting that Pat was showing before, you have all this percentage of the video shown and engagement, all that stuff. There's even for our own training, when we are being trained, going through the training material, that's the kind of functionality that would be useful in that part of the course as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mean
agreed.
the stuff we're giving to other people, because when you're doing the training, like the 100K training or whatever, you can't actually tell where you're up to. You have to actually make a note.
Yeah, true.
There you go. Well, there we go, John. Good thing there you go, man. You're not just handsome, John. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, thanks, John. Appreciate the feedback. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
All right, buddy. Let's make a note of that, Pat. And where are we going next? My boy, Tom. Tom, I just re-recorded the podcast. So if you were on Monday's call, I re-recorded the podcast this week, guys. If that has any interest or value for anyone. And Tom, who often gets mentioned, as mentioned as almost always. So there you go. Tom Cavanaugh. How goes it, my friend?
Hi, guys. How are you today?
Doing fabulous. Doing fabulous.
Awesome.
What's happening?
I'm doing terrific. Thank you for asking. Listen, I have a question about the Deep Dive 40. I did one recently for a client, and we were looking at an increase of about $400,000 in his business, but it didn't raise the valuation of his business by more than about $85,000 over what the current valuation was. And I'm just curious if there's something built into the software to keep it, low on purpose like that, or if there's something that I'm missing.
Yeah, let me answer that. Tom, I'd have to see your valuation questions and how you've answered these.
Okay.
So the biggest mistake I see I haven't answered any of these yet, but the biggest mistake I see is questions 1 and 2. And so let me just review those really briefly. And sometimes people leave these blank at 0, but here's the idea. Over the past 3 years, has your revenue been steady or growing or declining? Add or subtract the percentage of growth or decline for 100%. So if my revenue is steady, I want to put in there 100. If my revenue is growing or has been growing at 10% a year, I'm going to put 110. And if it's been declining by 10% a year, I'm going to put in 90. And then the same thing for industry. I might do the same thing. So that's the biggest mistake I've seen. I don't know about yours. So if you send me a screenshot or like a Loom video of what you've got on this page, I can take a look at it and give you some quick feedback.
That's probably where it is. I'll go in and take a look at that, and if it's anything different than what you've shown me, I'll send it to you.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks so much, Tom.
Yeah, that answers the question. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I'm going to put you back on mute. Lots of guys, we're not going to be able to get through all these questions here. I apologize, but let's go. Who's next here? Mark. Mark Kudre. Mark, we're coming for you, buddy. There he is. Mark, you're live.
Hey, great to be on the call. I found that the group coaching thing really interesting, but I must have missed how to get to it.
Yeah, great question, Mark. You don't have it yet. And
Okay.
yeah.
Are you watching his screen?
I don't even know if Carl.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I don't even know if Carl has it yet, because I'm not sure if I've given it to Carl yet. But once it's released,
please. It's
probably true. We could have a look. Once it's released, we're gonna do a big announcement. There'll very likely be a price tag on it, a monthly price. Not sure what that's going to be yet. And then those who want it will say, "Yep, I want it." And we're going to go in and add it to your accounts, and basically you'll log back in and you'll see it here. So,
Great.
but it'll be something separate from their basic PAS.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
There you go. Awesome. Okay, Mark, appreciate it. I got lots of feedback. Everybody was very grateful for our call last week. So
Yeah, most
awesome, man.
most
Thank you.
happy to help.
Okay, great. Put you back on mute. And who are we going to go to next? How about let's go to Una Doyle. I think we should all nickname her Una, or what's the name of the game? Uno. There we go. Uno Doyle. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Carl.
Killer Uno.
I've been called worse. Yeah, I just had a question about the group coaching. You were saying how if somebody joins later, they just get the current module available until it rolls round. So what about some of those core modules like the MDP? Is there a way we can have certain ones pinned that would always be available?
Yes, there is. So what I've asked, I spoke with the boys today, William and Kelvin and James, and I said, you know what? We're going to have coaches who will say, I want to open up market dominating position to everyone, even though they're coming in later in the lesson. And I said, we need that ability to click a button and open that one. And William says, okay, that's going to be stage 2. And stage 2 actually might get done, in July, but it's not going to get done in June. So, that is definitely considered. And I like what Carl said. I hadn't even thought of that before, the ability to move lessons around. And I think it's such a great thing. That might be stage 3, so stage 7. But I also told the boys today, here's what's going to happen, guys. We're going to open this up, and there are going to be 1,000 requests. Can you do this? Can you do that? And most of them will be really good, and we're going to have to manage it. So what's going to happen is our guy Kelvin has been primarily the one responsible for building this, and Kelvin is going to be on this full time going forward, handling all the support requests and change requests. But what we're going to try and do is manage it so that the most important or most popular requests get done first. If one person asks for something, we're probably not going to do it. If several people ask for it, it's probably going to get done. And we got to find a way to manage that as well, and maybe upvote requests and things like that. So we're definitely going to move to that system, because it's just, I wouldn't say it's spiraling out of control, but this software is becoming a beast of, there's so much to do, and there's so many places we can take it. And this, it's just going to get better and better and better. But the bigger it gets, the more requests we get to make it even better in different ways. And so many of them are so great. We want to do them. We're just, 9 months behind.
Is that all? But maybe I'm hoping, guys, you can see that why we've been talking about this for quite some time. So hopefully you guys are seeing the depth and the breadth of what the project looks like. And again, you've seen nothing. If you saw the back end, like the coding, Pat sent me that a few times, right? Like, how'd you like to be doing this today? And it's like, holy smokes, no, thank you. Complicated. But anyways, Una, anything else? What do you think? Do you like? Does that help? We'll get some
Yeah,
King
I
blessings.
was just on the immersion call, so I only just came in a few minutes ago. I was like, oh wow, this looks great. So
Cool.
yeah, it's good. By the way, Carl, I have to say I haven't done part 2 yet, but I thought your interview with Keith Cunningham was absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Oh, really? Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, I've had some positive feedback. Yeah. Thank you very much, Una. Thank you very much. All right. What do you think? Any other questions here? You all good? Oh, she's back on mute. Okay, Una, thank you. Let's move up.
Irene.
Irene is patiently waiting. Here you go, Irene.
Hi, thank you.
Hey. Irene, you're live. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous.
My question is, do you have any marketing material to go along with this program that we can use to enroll clients?
The plan is to build them. There's nothing been started yet. The reason is because, I just got my hands on this last week for the first time, really, to have a look through it. And even though I haven't been able to look through it until today, I started looking around, and then the guy said, with all the change requests I asked for today, they said, don't even build the training around it yet because the training's all going to change a week from now. And like, I just need some basic training to give our beta testers whatever. And so to build marketing material around it before we finish building it doesn't make sense. But that is a project for July.
Okay.
And we'll see what we can do in July. We want to get this thing finished and into the hands of some beta testers first. And then we'll look at that for sure, 100%.
And just to make you feel comfortable, Irene, just to make you feel comfortable with everybody else too, like this, at the end of the day, group coaching is one of, like, you're going to do a live event mastery, you're going to do local live events, just plug them into your group coaching software, right? You meet with somebody, you go through the Profit Acceleration, the Jumpstart 12, they want some help, you put them in your group coaching program, right? So do feel comfortable. It's not like you're going to need custom a marketing material specifically for this, but as Pat said, we're going to build some for sure. But this is, in your coaching arsenal and one of the programs you're putting folks into. But the magic pill is it's one that doesn't, and it's going to be significantly less time for the money. And this is where the ability to put 100 people versus 15 one-to-one coaching clients and maxing out is. So I hope that helps. What do you think, Irene? Anything else?
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, I have another request, and it's a big one. I would love to request a search bar so that we can find whatever we want just by putting in the search bar, because I've spent so much time getting lost in the resources, and I'm sure I'm not the only person.
That's a big question, Irene. That's stretching the friendship. You realize that, right?
Yes, but
no, totally understand. We've heard that. Yes, understand.
Let me speak to that.
Actually, yeah, please do.
Please do. Lo and behold, I have put a request out to our people. We are changing the look, of our resource center completely. It's going to be much more easy to find things. And not only will you have a search bar, you're going to have a favorites bar. So you can star something as your favorite, and then you'll be able to go back and find it in your favorites as well. So I'd say that is probably going to be released next week, Carl.
Thank
all
you.
things being equal.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully end of next week.
Friendship's back on, Irene. No, that's awesome. Thank you. And we hear you. We're like I said, we're moving all towards those types of things, right? But there we go. Pat saving the day. There you go.
Thank you.
Q Bananas. And anything else, Irene? You're doing great so far.
Good, thanks.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm going to put you back on mute. Let me have a look. We got lots of comments and everybody saying how great this all looks and saying thank you. No worries. And of course, we appreciate it. I don't see any more. I tell you what, we're coming towards the end of the hour. And it doesn't look like we have anything else specific. And of course, again, for everybody saying thank you and amazing, and when can I get my hands on it? It will be coming shortly. But as Pat said, it's one of those things, guys. It's already late, and it's going to continue to be a little bit late, but this bad boy is on its way. And hopefully we've shown you today why we've been talking about it so much, why we've been so excited, and more importantly, why an enormous amount of time, energy, focus, and resources have been channeled towards this project. It really is good. Quite frankly, if I'm out there, what I would have done back in my, one-to-one coaching days with this bad boy, I got to tell you, I would have made a dent. And this would have been my favorite tool by 100 miles, no question about it. And on multiple fronts that we'll get in, like as it goes live, I'll be talking more about that. But this is a tool that really has the capacity to catapult you guys, I'd say. And why? They're just very obvious. I said it earlier, but the time for money trade-off is not going to be there, right? Like it's you put 100, and again, like Pat said, maybe he wants to put 10 because he wants to do more individual type, focus, and he's going to intentionally open the meets up, and he's going to have more of a smaller, intimate group. And then I like the idea of 100, and then somebody else is a bigger thinker and wants 1,000. And somebody else wants to meet in the middle and thinks 30 is the perfect number. You know what? All of us could have used the exact same tool that we're now looking at, and been ridiculously successful with it, because it's all here ready to go. And it will, again, the commitment will be awesome when we unleash it and give you guys, again, put it in front of you guys and see if you want it. But it will continue to get more and more awesome with feedback, because it's going to be an animal that's going to run like a stallion in the field. So can't wait. Pat, before we go, I'm going to jump on a call here in 2 minutes. So anything for our fine folks?
I'm just going to say one thing real quick then. While this is being developed by our amazing developers, Carl and I have been working in the background on another really cool project, which we hope to bring you, once we get this launched. So this is not the only big thing that's coming this year. We got more coming, and I love working with Carl and Adrian and with everyone here, and just seeing this stuff come to life. It's just like a dream come true for me. So just hang on, guys. More things are coming. It's exciting, and you guys are going to be the beneficiaries of it as we are. So thank you for being around.
Awesome. You beauty. And Pat, and again, you guys know how I feel. Pat is a freaking genius, guys. Everything you're looking at here. Without him, he is a genius. The end. Mic drop. Conversation over. So you're magic, dude. On behalf of everybody here, man, keep crushing it. We appreciate you, dude, in the most real and tangible way. And on that note, speaking of being grateful, all the folks here, you guys playing full out, asking great questions and participating. We appreciate you guys. And we will see you, when is it? Tuesday, next on Thursday. We'll see you in a couple of days. Same time, same place. See you then. Thanks again, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.